Look, let's keep it all the way real here. You guys never cared about HBCUs to begin with. And this is the exact same thing I seen coming when Coach Prime left JSU. This year in the NFL draft, only one HBCU player was taken. One.
Guess what color every top 10 pick this year in the NFL draft was? I'll give you one guess. Black. What am I missing, Skip? I get it. I went to an HBCU.
You did.
I believe if the guys were talented enough to get drafted, I believe they would have gotten drafted.
The narrative for the past few years was you can go to an HBCU and still get drafted to the NFL. And now the narrative is switched to,
oh well, at least you're a black man able to get drafted to the league.
What kind of stupid goalpost moving is that? So now the excuse is HBCU players are just trash, which is extremely ignorant if you follow football. We have plenty of talent. FAMU's Isaiah Land, Jackson State's Aubrey Miller, South Carolina State Shaq Davis, who in fact had 100 yards and 3 touchdowns against Jackson State in the Celebration Bowl, but y'all were too busy riding Prime to even give a damn. Sure, you could say being an undrafted free agent is good compared to being a late round pick, until you start talking about that guaranteed money. There's no way HBCU should be beaten out by the likes of Bowling Green, Coastal Carolina, Wingate, the list goes on. The craziest part is those HBCU players I mentioned, they all played in the Senior Bowl, while those other Power 5 schools I talked about, they had none, but they still had players drafted. The real problem is there are no legit scouts coming to these pro days. One year at Texas Southern, the Houston Texans bought an intern scout for their pro day. An intern scout. NFL teams are just sending out their rookie scouts to our pro days while they send the elite ones to the likes of Alabama, LSU, Kentucky, which makes sense. But I just ask that we receive equal treatment. From the very beginning, the HBCU hype train was all fabricated, and so much money was made off the backs of not just Jackson State, but schools from the SWAC, MEAC, and the CIAA. All that just for us to end up back at square one. And I'm pretty sure that's the opposite of the blueprint, right? To have Power 5 recruits be stolen by HBCUs so they can get to the NFL draft from there, right? That's what the former JSU coach and his son said, remember? And people are gonna run off with this and say guys from HBCUs are ungrateful, sensitive. No. We're just sick and tired of constantly defending ourselves in the public eye due to misinformation, and we're already busting our ass just to make sure our schools are attractive destinations for players. Then you have folks on these sports talk shows give their opinions about HBCUs when they never even wanted to go there to begin with.
I went to an HBCU.
You did.
That wasn't my first choice.
What, you wanted to go to Georgia?
Georgia, Texas, Nebraska.
Okay, I got it.
Skip, the only thing I knew about a black college was the United Negro College Fund.
And they act like they have the deepest knowledge about the subject, and you clowns just eat it up. And all it takes is a simple Google search to put 2 and 2 together as to why HBCUs are underfunded like they are. But yet, people decide to be willingly ignorant just for clicks and views. And it's pretty exhausting, honestly, to constantly defend yourself against the media because people don't understand what 400 years of racism and oppression does to HBCUs and plays a huge role of why we don't have the resources that we needed to begin with. Land grants, restrictions on state funding, the fact that there are several black millionaires in the world, HBCUs are still in the bottom 2% of rich alumni, which adds into us having a lack of an alumni association to help these athletes receive NIL deals, rebuild locker rooms, which goes into another layer of struggle due to the fact that we already have a systemic structure in place to keep black people from getting richer than the other person. Oh, it gets deep now. So now here we are, present day, still fighting the same battle of fighting off ignorant viewpoints from the media. And to be honest, it seems like a never-ending battle with no conclusion in sight. HBCUs obviously have alumni out there that's willing to do the work, but compared to Power 5s, they have alumni associations able to buy coaches' contracts out. We're way behind the 8 ball. So to the mainstream media, instead of just bashing HBCUs every chance you get, why don't you just pick up a book, research, or even just go on Google and do a simple type up of why HBCUs are what they are. Instead of being a part of the solution, you're part of the problem.